St. Paul's Cathedral is a staple of London's skyline. Its iconic dome structure is an architectural feat that set new standards around the world. During its construction, many believed that the architect Sir Christopher Wren was crazy for this plan that included a large dome feature. They believed that a dome of that size would be impossible to support. He quickly proved them wrong and set up a British landmark that has lasted centuries past his death. The building we know today as St. Paul's Cathedral is actually the second cathedral of that name in London. The original one was built in 1148 and was commissioned to be updated in 1666. However, the Great Fire of 1666 demolished the old St. Paul's and allowed the city to completely redo the cathedral. Many architects submitted proposals, but Wren was selected. His lofty ideas, including the dome, were what the king and the city were expecting in this London destination. Wren decided to test his architecture plans on smaller churches around the city. These churches were also destroyed in the fire and needed to be rebuilt. Wren used each church to test a different feature. For example, St. Stephen's, Walbrook was the test spot of the now iconic dome of St. Paul's. Wren faced difficulties when creating this dome and came up with a solution that gave an appealing interior dome and a beautiful outer dome. It was split up into two sections, an inner and an outer, to achieve all the effects that were desired. Christopher Wren lived long enough to see his ambitious ideas come to life in St. Paul's Cathedral. The first service was held in 1697, and the last stone of construction was laid in 1708. The cathedral drew in crowds from around the country and world. It was built on Ludgate Hill, the highest point in London, and stands at 365 feet tall. This made it the tallest building in London until 1962. As years passed, London grew around St. Paul's and drew inspiration from the iconic shape. The cathedral was a source of pride for the British Empire. When the Blitz hit the United Kingdom, Prime Minister Winston Churchill knew that Londoners drew moral support from St. Paul's Cathedral. He in fact stated that St. Paul's must be saved at all costs. He stationed volunteers to stand on the roof of the building to knock bombs off the cathedral. He knew if the dome was damaged in any way, the country's faith in the war effort would be shook to the core. One of the most iconic photographs of the London Blitz is of St. Paul's, and it features the dome surrounded by bomb smoke. The cathedral escaped the Blitz with only 2 spots of damage thanks to Winston Churchill and the volunteers. Churchill helped save the cathedral and his country's morale in the process. His funeral service was held in the chapel and attracted thousands of his countrymen to pay their respects. St. Paul's Cathedral is now a huge tourist attraction in London. It still holds several church services every day. Self-guided tours around the cathedral allow visitors to go into the basement levels to see artifacts from British history and Sir Christopher Wren's tomb. On his tomb, Christopher Wren's son added an epitaph in Latin that states, "Reader, if you seek a monument, look about you." These crypts are unusual from other European cathedrals since they expand the entire length of the cathedral instead of just one section. Other notable tombs located in the crypt are Florence Nightingale and Admiral Lord Nelson. Visitors can go to a higher level and experience the Whispering Gallery. This is another one of Wren's architectural feats with this building. You can stand on one side of the gallery and a friend on the other side can hear you perfectly. This includes even when you whisper. Visitors also can climb to the top of the dome to view London. It is quite a journey up all the stairs, but the view is well worth it. St. Paul's Cathedral is an iconic London landmark thanks to these two men and the dome. Sir Christopher Wren created this cathedral and Sir Winston Churchill helped it survive through bombings. St. Paul's Cathedral is a staple of British history thanks to its creator and its protector.